All right, guys, we need to move on to rapid fire because we are against a time crunch. Are you ready for rapid fire?
Let's do it.
So
Vince,
ready, baby.
be freaking shortened to the point, all right?
Wow. Wow. All right.
There's a joke in there. I hope you got it.
Let's start with Brian Wright's question. Hypothetically, I always love the hypothetically.
Yeah, I know. It's fun.
If Al Golden leaves, who do you think would take the defensive reins?
Did you say it together? 1, 2, 3. Mike Mickens.
Mike Mickens.
Either that or another Wisconsin/Cincinnati.
I mean, the only thing that's going to keep Mike Mickens from getting the defensive coordinator job is the inexperience. And you would have relative inexperience across the board, both coordinator positions as well as the head coach. And is that something from a program standpoint that you want? As good as we think Mike Mickens can be, and as good as he has shown himself both as a recruiter and as a coach of the cornerbacks, to me, that's the only knock on Mickens. The only thing that would really potentially keep him from getting it is that inexperience.
I just feel like the hype that Marcus Freeman has kind of, you hear him talking about Mike Mickens, how he's ready to be a DC, all of that. I would find it very hard to believe that they wouldn't hire from within. You know what I mean? If that was the case, I would find it very hard to believe at that point. But you never know. I mean, people love Mike Mickens right now. If there was an opening in defensive coordinator, maybe people wouldn't love him so much. I don't know. But I think that is what would happen.
No disagreement, Jesse?
No disagreement from me. It would either be Mickens or, again, some branch or tree of someone that Marcus Freeman knows that has ties to Cincinnati, Wisconsin, that kind of situation. But I think Mike Mickens would be first and foremost at the top of the list.
Fill in the blank. The departing Irish player you'll miss the most is blank. I'll start with you on this one, Jesse.
That's an easy one.
So like there's a sexy answer and there's a not a sexy answer. The sexy answer is Audric Estime. Just because I think that, and I know it's like the counter argument would be, we probably want to see some Jeremiah Love and some of these younger guys, but I just love the power, the speed, and the finesse that Audric Estime has. I think he's like the ideal back, but the non-sexy one, and what I was just talking about earlier, would have to be Joe Alt, just because I'm so concerned about those tackle positions for next season. It's not easy to bring in new tackles at each side, especially when you're replacing a unanimous All-American in Joe Alt. So I would have to say that Joe Alt is my answer, but it's not It's not as sexy as Audric Estime.
It's okay.
This one's easy for me. It's Cam Hart all day long. I have been a Cam Hart fan since way back when. I love his game. I think that his measurables are awesome. I'm really excited to see what happens with him moving forward, obviously, but I think he was so undervalued by Notre Dame fans as a whole because I think he was in the shadow of Benjamin Morrison, and they kind of forgot that Cam Hart existed, but there's a reason last year specifically that they, in 2022, that all those balls went towards Benjamin Morrison because Cam Hart played really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing this year. A lot of balls went towards Benjamin Morrison, even though he was a freshman All-American, because Cam Hart was playing really, really well. So I love Cam Hart, and I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that is going to get even more respect after he's gone.
What's interesting is I read the question, and then in the live chat, the first 4 people who gave their own responses, 4 people each gave a different response. You had you had Estime, you had Hart, and there was another one in
Somebody
there.
Said Rico Flores.
Rico Flores, yeah. Rico Flores was in there as well. And personally, it probably should be either Sam Hartman, Chris Tyree, or Tobias Merriweather, right? Like based on talent and expectations and the whole thing. But unfortunately, for different reasons, none of those guys quite met the bill. And, Jesse said, there's the sexy pick and the unsexy pick. To me, I'm just going with sexy all the way. I'll just say Audric Estime, even though, I think, there's, as Vince has pointed out, there's a ton of talent in that running back room, and we're going to get to see a lot more of that next year without Audric Estime. But Estime was just fun to watch, and the production was there as well, so that's, sue me. I like guys who produce and make
Hey, I
it
get
fun
it.
to watch them produce.
Totally
You
get
know,
it. He was
so
fun to watch. Estime
yeah.
was fun to watch because you just never knew what he was going to do, and he's going to truck somebody or run away from somebody or hurdle somebody or whatever. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. As far as Rico Flores, he overachieved this year as a freshman. I don't think anybody anticipated him doing what he did this year. There's no doubt about it. But he's 100% replaceable. He is. He's 100% replaceable. So
it's not like Rico Flores was indispensable by any
No.
means with what he
No.
gave them. He ended up kind of giving them production by default. Like he ended up getting a lot more reps, even though, like the reps that he had, and like if you went with the reps against the production, he actually should have had more production.
Agreed. No, I do agree
and
with.
that's again part of the reason for this tumult in the wide receiver room that led to a lot of different things. We don't have to go back down that road again. But look, as I said before, I'll take the trade-off with what they lost at wide receiver versus what they have coming in, and that includes both the veterans that they've got coming in and the freshmen that they've got coming in the door as well.
Look, simple answer, yes or no, or pick one or the other, right? 23 wide receiver room, 24 wide receiver room. Which one are you taking?
24. I mean, that's not even a question.
It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Jesse, you
proven
agree?
Proven talent.
Yeah. I mean, I would take the 24 room over the 23 room all day long.
I'm not sure. I missed out on what Ryan said. He said all three of them. This is the best trio.
He's talking about us three.
Oh, nice. I don't know if that's what he actually meant, but if he did, back at you. All right. So the Big Ten, I'm really curious to see. I left this as open-ended as possible because I have my own theory on this, which is obviously why I came up with this question. But the Big Ten is going to have 18 teams next season. The ACC is going to have 17. The SEC and the Big 12 will have 16 teams each in their conferences. So specific to football, what potential impact do you think that these expanded conferences could have on Notre Dame beginning next year with these version conferences? Go ahead.
I think it makes Notre Dame's life a little bit easier, to be honest, because if you look at, being a or an independent team in football and their schedule next season, it's not quite as hard as some of these teams that I've seen some early, I don't have them memorized and I can't give specific examples, unfortunately, but like you see some of these schedules of,
I'll be able to here in a minute.
Yeah. These teams have like juggernauts, 4 or 5 teams that are all really good. And so I feel like it actually makes Notre Dame's life a little bit easier because they don't have to worry about getting bludgeoned in these mega conferences. They can do their thing. They can pick and choose who they want to play essentially and kind of set up their schedule. And so I think it's easier. And again, if you know that those teams are going through those schedules, they're going to have a couple losses, right? And so as long as Notre Dame stays in, I think that, 0-1 loss, maybe even 2-loss range, they should be completely fine in terms of making the playoffs. And I think they're just going to have a relative easier path than these mega conference teams are going to have.
It's a great point, Jesse. I think you're going to see a lot of carnage in these big, these big mega conferences. You're going to see the top teams playing top teams, and they're going to knock each other off. And meanwhile, Notre Dame's just going to be there, just whistling a tune and having a good schedule and well, maybe not a good schedule all the way, but they're going to win and they're going to get W's and they're going to pick and choose and they're going to piecemeal. Hey, we're going to take, good team from this conference and a good team from this conference, and we're going to beat them. And you're going to have your strength of schedule and you're going to be good to go, but you're not going to have the carnage for Notre Dame that I think you're going to have in some of these mega schedules. I think it works out to Notre Dame's benefit.
Absolutely. And kind of combining what you're talking about, again, I was interested to see sort of what your perspective on this would be. And mine is all these teams clustering together. It all means that there's a better chance for a 2-loss Notre Dame team to make the college football playoff, because obviously depending, who the 2 losses are, but look at the rankings right now. Teams number 8 through 12 in the playoff standings right now all have 2 losses. And there are 4 other teams from 3 through 7 that have 1 loss each. And that's, just right now without all these teams combining. And now Texas and Oklahoma are going to the SEC next year. Georgia's going to have to play at Alabama, at Texas, at Ole Miss next year. all those teams are in the top 12 right now as we speak. And then you've got 4 of the teams in the top 10 right now, including Texas and Oklahoma, that are going to be in the SEC next year. 5 of the top 10 teams that are going to be in the Big Ten next year, with Washington and Oregon, are, in there as well. And so, they're not necessarily playing, everyone's not playing everybody, but the schedules are just naturally going to have to get tougher. And I just think that you're going to see far fewer unbeaten teams at the end of the season. You're going to see many more teams with at least one loss. And it raises the chance that once you get out of that top 4 or 5, that you're going to have a lot of multiple loss teams. And I think that, again, that just helps Notre Dame out down the road, and maybe Notre Dame doesn't even need to schedule quite as tough as a result, because all these, as long as you've got 1 or 2 decent games on your schedule every year, and you're able to, make it through with 1 or 2 losses, they should be in really good shape in a 12-team playoff to get in every year, because all these teams are playing each other in these big conferences.
So, I mean, the incentive, Sean, obviously you want to, us as fans, we want to have a couple of big games a year, obviously, right?
I'm not saying, go out and put a bunch of
I know
on the schedule, but
what I'm saying is, where's the benefit though to scheduling an Alabama or an Ohio State?
I was thinking the same thing.
If they go undefeated against a garbage schedule, they're still in the playoff. I'm sorry. An undefeated undefeated Notre Dame, no matter what their schedule is, unless they're playing a bunch of Georgia States or something, is not
in
going
a
12-team
field. Yeah. It's like, it's one thing for Florida State without its, quarterback to get left out of a 4-team field. But yeah, there's no way an undefeated Notre Dame is going to get left out of a 12-team field. And even a 1-loss Notre Dame team, again, it all depends on what happens, but the odds just increase that you're going to have many more multiple loss teams because of the fact that they're all clustered together now, with Washington, and you've got 4 teams from the Pac-12. They're going to be part of the Big Ten right now. And 2 of them, one of them is in the playoff. One of them just missed the playoff, and then you've got Michigan and Ohio State. Michigan is in the playoff. Ohio State just missed. All 4 of those teams, plus USC, plus Penn State, they're all in the same conference. And again, like it's not much different in the SEC. So, again, like the odds increase, and it also decreases the chance that a team like Missouri, which had a great season this year, like if I'm Eli Drinkwitz and I've got a chance to get out of there, I would be getting out of there very quickly, because it decreases the chance that a team like Missouri or, whoever is going to sneak up and have a season like they had, because of all these teams, that just the gauntlet of teams that they're going to have to play going forward.
Yeah.
So CJ Carr is joining Notre Dame this weekend during bowl prep practice. What impact do you think this is going to have? CJ Carr coming to Notre Dame and joining up right now.
So I think the only thing that's going to be beneficial for CJ Carr is that he's going to get a taste of college speed and how college practices are run. And so he's not kind of overwhelmed or ambushed compared to when he could potentially start next fall. But I mean, listen, they're going to be running a different system next season. And so everything that he's learning right now, potentially, or seeing or observing at practice, is going to go out the window. There might be some, basic fundamentals or mechanics of things, but the offense is going to be run differently next season. And so, him coming is great and all, but I just think it's going to be nice that he has a taste of college practice speed, the format of college practice. And so he's a little bit more comfortable once fall camp rolls around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to change anything for Notre Dame specifically. This only benefits CJ Carr. I mean, and all the fans who want to see whatever they want to see, right? So I think that it's going to have zero effect on the team itself. It's just it's going to be another arm to throw balls around, because they're going to be losing Sam Hartman, obviously. So that's one less quarterback. And so now they're adding one to the practice squad. So, it's going to be a benefit to him. Like Jesse said, the speed of the game, getting to throw to guys that are college receivers and college tight ends, as opposed to his high school guys. And it's going to be a great benefit to CJ. It's going to be zero benefit to Notre Dame, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, I think he just, really can't wait to get here. And
Yeah.
you know, he probably floated this idea to him, and they were like, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah.
sure, why not?
We'll put you up.
Did
All
you
right.
see the picture that his mom tweeted
Yes.
this afternoon? It
I
was
was
like
just gonna say that.
it was almost like a, you know, like the kid going off to his first day of kindergarten or something. It's
Yes,
like
it was.
CJ Carr walking off the porch. He's got his Notre Dame backpack on, you know, and she's like, you know, good luck on your, you know, next year. I mean, it was kind of cool, obviously, but you know, kind of confirmed to all of us that he is going to be here this weekend. You know,
He's probably here because
I don't even know if Marcus Freeman can officially say anything about him tomorrow at the press conference, because he won't be able to sign officially until next Wednesday. So,
I mean, we get to see practice next week,
right?
That'll be before signing day, by the way.
Right.
So it'll be, I don't know. It'll be interesting. That's a good call on your part, sir.
Yeah. I
don't know.
You know, yeah, but you know, again, I don't
used to have early enrollees though. They used to have early enrollees before the December signing day.
Yeah.
And those guys would be participating and doing everything.
Well, yeah, and they still, yeah, exactly. You know, they could still get on campus before, like when the signing day was still in February, they would enroll at school and, you know, they'd be starting classes. But, you know, again, I don't think you could officially talk about them until, you know, the actual signing day roll around. I wonder if this kind of becomes a thing. Like if CJ Carr starts a trend, you know, like if more early enrollee, you know, whether it's quarterbacks or even other positions, you know, like they jump in, you know, because I think you actually brought up a great point. You're losing Sam Hartman. You need another quarterback out there. So why not? It's another guy to, you know, to kind of take some reps in practice and go out there.
Throw those swing routes to the running backs, baby.
That's right. Yeah, I don't think there's some huge benefit for either side, but it definitely, like for CJ Carr, just the fact that he can get here and then, you know, again, like maybe in the future it kind of becomes a trend where some of the early enrollees join up for bowl practice and stuff like that.
Right. Yep. Agreed.
Scale of 1 to 10. What's your curiosity to see Muffet McGraw's statue that's going to be unveiled before the Notre Dame Purdue game Sunday?
Well, if I was in town, I would say that I'd make my way over to.
Well, you'll see a photo of it.
Yeah, but you know, I would put it like this: next time I'm on campus, I would make a point to go see it. But I'm not there right now. I think that's the best way I can describe it.
That's a good call. I am excited for it. I think it's long overdue. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. My, you know, excitement level is probably at like a 7 or an 8. Next time I'm on campus, I will definitely make a point, like Jesse said, to go check it out, because I do want to see, like, okay, I'll see it on social media first, obviously.
What's the pose?
What's the pose?
Look like all that kind of stuff.
I saw them like lowering it in place, but had like blankets wrapped around it. So she's obviously standing up.
I did see that. And I was, you know, I'll say I was a little disappointed by that.
I want the crouch. Is that wrong? Like, I want the crouch.
I know. I was surprised that they had it wrapped the way they did, so you could actually see, you know,
it was tight.
You had a pretty good idea of what it was. I thought there might be like a big blanket draped over it or something like that.
I mean, it was
the literal shroud of secrecy. Yeah, I'm at an 8. I do want to see what it looks like, but you know, just seeing that photo that we saw kind of gives a little bit of it away. So
it does.
There's not going to be total surprise anymore.
And I don't know if they're going to add more to it, but like you know, for example, like the Lou Holtz trophy has other guys, you know, in the trophy. Like there's players and there's this and there's that. Like it looks like it's just one singular whatever. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And like I said, it's totally deserved and overdue.
Right. She's as of now scheduled to be on with us in the pregame show, the Notre Dame Radio Network on Sunday. So 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, because it's a noon tip-off. The ceremony is actually, I think it starts at like 10:45 Sunday morning. So
outside, of course, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. The unveiling and the whole thing.
Cool.
All right, I've got to get through these. Do I want to? We're not going to have time to get through all of these. So should I save the long one for next week and just kind of jump to the last two? What do you guys think?
Sean Stiers, I'm not going to lie to you. This is all fresh to me. So you
haven't even looked at the questions. Jesse, have you looked at the questions today?
I did look at the questions. I glossed over them. I didn't give them my full.
All right, we're wasting time with this. Which storyline are you more done with? Which storyline are you more done with? Tommy DeVito, the Italian quarterback, or Taylor Swift and Jason Kelce?
Are you serious?
I'm going. Yeah, I know what Vince is going with. He's going to play to his heritage.
This is which are you more done with?
I'm more done with the Kelce and Taylor Swift stuff. It's over. They're dating. It is what it is. I still find the DeVito stuff funny. I love his agent as well. I can't get enough of his agent.
Straight out of Central Casting, man. Like
man.
That.
So I think I'm curious to see how long this rides out, because DeVito's first game was against the Cowboys. Not really a good defense to be starting your NFL career on. But since then, he's actually looked kind of decent. And so the better he does, the more I see of this Italian agent walking around in his matching.
Love it.
You know what I think of? It's like he's wearing like the matching tracksuit jumpsuit version of suits. That's what he's wearing. It's like the business casual version of the suits. So I love it. I can't eat. I want to eat it up. I want to see the next thing that he's wearing. Yes. It's got to be crazier and crazier.
This might as well just be like when the Giants play, just put, do the Sopranos intro, like at the beginning of the Giants game. That's
100%.
That's what it's turned into at this
If they haven't jumped on board with that at this point, like, come on, man. What are the Giants doing? They're literally in Jersey. They're playing in Jersey. Like, how can you not live up to this and play it up to its fullest extent? I mean,
it's like Dan Marino was Italian. I don't remember, it's like,
but he wasn't from Jersey. He wasn't from Jersey. Come on,
Joe Flacco, Jimmy G. It's like they act like this is the first Italian quarterback who's ever played in the NFL or something, and like
he's not.
This agent is just a cartoon character.
Exactly.
It is driving me nuts. It is driving me nuts, even more than Taylor Swift and Kelce. It is driving me nuts right now. I can't with this whole DeVito thing. I want to call him Danny DeVito like every time I
bet.
Say his name.
The difference is all those other Italian guys that you referenced all went out and got real agents. This guy went like down the block.
Found his brother.
Yeah, he got like Johnny from the block, and he's like, "Yeah, I need you to be my agent." Like, and he's up there kissing the dad and doing the whole thing. Like, it is baloney. It is Italian sausage. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I'm here for it. I think it's hilarious.
I just, then they put the pictures of what were supposed to be chicken cutlets that like didn't even look like chicken cutlets. Again, it's like,
see that.
Like, come on, what is it? By the way, remember when the Swift Kelce stuff, started taking off a couple months ago, and I mentioned, hey, Taylor Swift might be the most famous person in the world. And all these people are like, oh, I can't believe you would say that. Taylor Swift is not the most famous person in the world.
No,
she's at least the most famous celebrity in the world. And did you, she's on the cover of Time magazine today. And it is the highest selling issue of Time magazine in at least 12 years. Pre-orders have gone over like 245,000. And, like 12 years ago, by the way, the last, and I think it was like the Royals, something about, like,
the royal
England,
family,
the royal family or whatever. Like 12 years ago, people were actually still buying magazines, and here we are now. And like, this one is breaking records with Taylor Swift. Look, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I'm just telling you,
but I'm not surprised.
Like,
because I think there's 4 different covers that they're putting out, like 4 different pictures. And there's the Swifties are they're getting one of each.
Yeah.
And they're going to frame them and do all these different, so she has so many fans that are so freaking crazy that they're buying all of this stuff and they're going to all the concerts and they're doing the whole thing. And she's amazing because of that. Like, I'm impressed by that alone. Like, she wasn't all that famous before, but then like all of a sudden when she hit 30, like, just blew the roof off the place.
It's exploded.
I don't get that part of it, to be honest with you, but she is by far the most popular one in the world. No doubt.
You add in maybe some people that, the Travis Kelce type fans or vice versa. And it's now you're getting even a bigger pool of people to potentially go out and buy this stuff for whatever reason it might be.
I mean, I know it annoys Al Michaels and Jim Nance.
It annoys me too. When I want to watch football, I want to watch football. I don't want to watch all the extra crap.
That's like the only thing that I would say. it doesn't annoy me anymore. Like, like they were showing Tommy DeVito's dad and, the whole thing in the stands the other night. I'm on record for like infinity. Those shots annoy me. Like the constant cutaways to any family member.
Sure.
In the stands, that annoys me. So Taylor Swift doesn't annoy me more than any other cutaway to the stands. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It annoys me, but no more than any of the others.
Right.
Vince, do you have time for one more?
Bring it. Let's go.
Okay. So
what if I had one?
SI Media podcast host Jimmy Train has said this week he needs the TV announcer to say no flags at the end of a punt or kickoff return that goes for a touchdown. So, like he's at the 5, touchdown Dolphins, no flags, like that's what he needs to hear. He needs to hear no flags at the end because he says most of them get called back by penalties. So do you buy or sell? Do you need to hear no flags at the end of these big calls like that?
Yeah, because then I don't get my hopes up. I don't go through the celebration, the jubilation, the excitement of getting free points, of returning a special teams touchdown. Like I need to know, because if you're going to break my heart like that, that's usually what it is. He's right. And so just get it over with early. And I think it makes it a better kind of overall situation because of that.
Okay.
It's a huge sell for me. I think that's ridiculous. The only time I need to know that there's no flags on the field is if it's radio, not TV. I can see the field. I can see it. And the flag usually comes out.
And there's a yellow thing.
What else can you see? That's right. Immediately on the screen, if there's a flag, they put flag.
They put it up on the, yes, absolutely correct. So radio, yes. TV,
you
absolutely not. No.
It's very interesting because I held back part of the information as well. Train has said he's a he self-described degenerate gambler, and while Vince and I dabble in gambling, Jesse is much more involved in the gambling, and that's why he said, like as a gambler, he said that's why he needs to know it, and he said that any gambler would agree with him. And so in this thought experiment, Jesse fully agrees with what he says. He needs the no flags. I don't need the no flags because, again, it's TV. They've been like, as soon as there's a flag, they throw it up there on the screen.
Yes, they do. They put it right there.
Yes. If it's radio, like Vince said, you obviously can't see it. Then you need the announcer to say it. I think it ruins the call if you're talking about flags and stuff right away. Like, save the flag talk for the end. Let it breathe a little bit. Let it get to fruition, and then you mention.
I was set up. That's great. You were, and you took it.
I was.
You took the bait.
Yep.
All right. I want to share this though. Who do you guys?
You want to share what? Oh, am I supposed to put this up on the screen?
Yeah. Here we go. These are all the bowl games starting this weekend. Which one are you most excited for?
All right. Well, I got to look at them. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, there's bowl games this weekend.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Saturday, tomorrow, baby. I'm going. Give me Appalachian State versus Miami of Ohio.
That's where I was going to go too.
That's interesting. Boise State,
Miami of Ohio
UCLA
won the MAC. App State is upset. What was it? James Madison also had a solid year.
Yeah.
Give me that App State and Miami game.
That's what I'm really looking forward to, actually, because Dylan really wants to go to Miami, so I've been watching some of their games, and good old Chuck Martin's got some Notre Dame roots, obviously. Yep. So, that's the one for me.
Yep.
That was my fun question.
Andrew said, Sean, you bet on games, give some tips. I'm not the one to ask for tips. Like I said, Vince and I dabble in like Jesse has spreadsheets and he's
made some coin.
Yeah. He is like creating like his own, analytics for the different.
I need him to just give me
the one to ask
so that I can just bet whatever he tells me to bet. That's what
I'm gonna start charging like a $5 service fee. You want the bet $1?
That's fair. That's fair. Only, but you got to be like one of those injury attorneys. Like only if I win,
you
get the money.
I've told people before. I was like, here's if the bet loses, I'll front like 50%, but if it wins, you owe me like 25% of whatever you win.
You know what?
It's not bad.
I mean, I'm just saying.
A little big there. Yeah, that's right.
We'll see.
The action is the juice, baby. All right, well, that's going to do it for tonight and this special edition of IB Nation Sports Talk. We're we've got kind of a short week next week, but we've got a Marcus Freeman press conference tomorrow. So Monday we'll be here. We'll kind of cover, what Marcus Freeman talks about with some news and notes and that kind of stuff. Tuesday, we're going to get to see like the first half hour or so of some practice, and then we'll get to talk to some players afterwards. So we'll have some of that. And then next Wednesday is signing day. So there's just it's going to be a busy week.
A lot going on, baby.
That's right. All right, guys, thanks for jumping in today. And thanks to everyone for being here as well. Have a great weekend. Enjoy those bowl games or the extended NFL Saturday, Sunday. 3 NFL games coming up Saturday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's right. We're at the point now where you get NFL on Saturday and Sunday.
Nice.
Yep. All right. That's going to do it. Hit the like button, subscribe, rate, review. We will talk to you next week on IB Nation Sports Talk.